Big welcome back to another episode, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We have some much better news about the engine swap and rebuild this week than we did last week, so I'm in much better spirits now. Let me just take you over to the head and show you what the machinist said. So we're picking up directly where we left off last week, and I just picked up the head from the machinist this afternoon, and he had some really good news for me. So he said he's managed to seal all of the valves, which is fantastic. And just for a little bit of context, I actually tested one of Jan's heads that he has over in the corner as one of his spares, and that leaked as well. And the way I was testing it was I was pouring petrol down the intake and the exhaust to see what fluid would come out of here, and that's a good indicator that it's not working right. Petrol, because it is thinner than water, so it was just a good test for me because I couldn't do a proper leak down test with air, but that's kind of all I needed to know because the majority of them leaked. So really good news. He said the valve rods themselves are in really good condition. The only thing I need to change are two of the springs that hold the valve rods in place. They are bent, so he said not to use those. So I'm really hoping when I see Jan, he will lend me two springs, and then the head is ready to rock. Waiting on the rings to come hopefully today, and then we can gap them properly when we put them into the cylinder bores. So now it very much truly is a fully rebuilt engine. So yeah, we're looking at an engine that's going to be much better than if we had started with a good engine that we just plonked in. So really good news here. And I have some info from the bloke who sent us the rebuilt injectors at 150 bar. We sent our ones back to him, and he has actually tested them for us for free. So thank you, mate. That was really awesome. And his name's Conrad, so thank you, Conrad. This is word for word. So hello, I've tested the 5 nozzle holders. All 5 nozzle holders have the same abnormality. The nozzle opening pressure is only at over 200 bar instead of the standard 135 bar. And then the nozzle closes extremely slowly and sometimes not at all. My guess is that something sticky has got into the nozzle holder, causing the nozzle needle to open very late and close again very late. All the nozzles did the same thing. I can hardly imagine that the engine ran at all with these jets. So that's super interesting. So that's definitely what was the cause of the damage to the engine, and the very likely cause of why that vehicle got scrapped to begin with. So it needed new injectors, but the damage those injectors had done was already too late for the engine. It was beyond just being able to chuck back into another vehicle. So really cool to know exactly what happened. Wasn't a head gasket leak or anything like that, although it does look like the wrong coolant was used at some point, because there are some strange deposits here, but I've been assured that that won't block any of the cooling galleries because they're all quite large in the OM series of engines, or at least these ones, so I don't have a worry there. In other news, a pile of stuff has arrived for our exhaust. So that is 65mm diameter stainless steel pipes. So there's a 2 meter straight. We've got a bunch of bends, an adapter to kind of come out of the turbo, and also a flexi part as well. Waiting on a Polish company to build our muffler for us, which is very exciting, for an unbelievably reasonable price. And that'll go where the stock muffler went. I have since sold our stock muffler to another TGB owner, so that's really cool that it's going to get reused. Good afternoon, guys. So I've got very good news. It's Friday afternoon and all of the parts have arrived. Yes! Gosh. So Jan has been working on his adapter plate. This is of course a prototype. So this is the plate he got done at a CNC mill, and now he is just trying to make sure that this slave cylinder fits, but it looks like we're going to have to just do a tiny little cut out of the side of the gearbox here, and he had to just do a tiny few modifications to the plate he had made, and that bolts up really nicely. He got some other stuff made up for me too, I'll show you guys later. The next thing that has arrived, a smaller water pump pulley from Diesel Pump UK. That was a bloody, for what it was, that was a fortune to get it here. But I think will be really well worth it. The smaller pulley means the water pump will spin faster and therefore distribute coolant around the engine quicker without any kind of cavitation. So I think that's a really smart mod to do. The head is looking pristine, and I ran a thread chaser down each of the glow plug holes, and they have snugged up really nicely with some special paste. I think there must be like a zinc paste or something that Jan's let me use, brake service paste. Now I'm on to one of the scariest machine type situations I've done, checking the ring gap. You'll see there's a piston ring in here, and what I need to do is I need to make sure that when this brand new ring goes into the cylinder, I need to make sure that the gap, so this spot right here, is within spec. The way I've heard it said is, nobody cares if your ring gap is too large, but everyone's gonna know if your ring gap is too small. Too small of a ring gap equals engine explode. Too big of a ring gap equals blow by, potentially loss of power and using oil. A much better situation than too small of a gap. Now, you'll have to excuse my very rudimentary feeler gauge operation here. Because my tool case is mobile, things take a bit of a hiding and I've lost the pin for my feeler gauges. Anyway, we have a 0.45 millimeter or a 0.18 of an inch, and that slots in there perfectly. And this is good, because I'll read out what my tolerance should be. Should be between 0.23 mil and 0.40 mil. So I'm on ever so slightly the larger side, but I'm much happier with that than the other way around. So what that means is that ring is going to be safe in that bore. I'm now going to test the second ring in the same cylinder, and also there is a oil ring as well. But I'm not going to lie, guys, I'm terrified about putting these rings in. I will wait for Jan to get home before I do that. Because look what happened when I removed the oil ring, the old one. Snapped, really easily snapped. And I don't have a special tool to be putting these in, so we're going to have to go the old school way of putting these rings in. But yeah, I'm scared I'm going to do something wrong and we're back to square one. So I'll seek Jan's advice. He's built more engines than I have, so wish me luck. Erring on the side of caution, I think, is the way to go today. Once those are in, we get the pistons in. I'll change the bearings on the piston rods. We'll be able to button up the bottom end, I believe, and then it will just be top end. I think we'll get this engine together tonight if everything goes smoothly. Oh yes. Yay! Woohoo!
First one.
First one.
Up there. Oh. Step by step. Piston by piston. We got this.
Who needs a special tool when you can do that anyway? Yes. Okay, all cylinders are in. That went really smoothly thanks to Jan. We've just done the oil pump, the timing chain, oil pump chain. Now we're going to put the front cover on, and then it is time for the head to go on. That head's not coming off anytime soon. Okay, so the cams are in place. Exhaust manifold with the part of the turbo is on. And now we're looking at timing. Okay, so there's top dead center.
This 6mm drill fixes the camshafts. Second place to check the timing are here.
Little nodules.
I think you also can see these small dots here.
Oh, yep, with the,
And the second one, yeah.
Okay, so everything had to match up, and when it didn't, you just changed the position of this.
Of the gear
Of
and
this
the chain.
gear and the chain.
Yeah.
Until that,
Until
these
it
all
fits.
lined up.
Yes. Now, new pump. Just slides in.
Oof, look at that.
And now you have a mechanic. And
Yes. Now she's looking better. My goodness.
electronic pump off.
Yeah.
Mechanic pump on.
Mechanical for the win. Super exciting. It's all coming together. A lot of setbacks, but it's coming together. The moment we've been waiting for. Missing one. Good morning, guys. Happy Saturday. So we spent, a lot of time, didn't we? Until about, I think it was 10:30 last night that we finished. So we've been in here for a couple of hours polishing a bunch of stuff off. So Jan had the right size belt, which was awesome. He's been doing the bracket for the alternator. That's all sorted. I need to paint it. Cover is on. We've run the injection lines. The new Kangaroos team intake is on. Turbo is all fed up now, thanks to Jan as well. So we've got a feed going in here. This one will need to be replaced, but that's okay for now. This one here, I bought a kit from the States. I think it was from Ben's Force for the turbo. But it was just had one piece missing that I think customs lost. So a bit frustrating, but we're getting there. It's almost ready to fire up for the first time. All right.
Let's open these tubes just a tiny bit to bleed the air.
Okay.
Then we turn it again a bit.
Okay.
No fuel.
Where would the fuel be coming from?
Yeah, good question.
Yes! Ho-ho-ho-ho! You bloody ripper! Yes, mate. That's
Running.
freaking wicked. Gee, she sounds nice.
Yeah.
Sounds really nice. Yes. Oh my god. Oh, nice. All right. Whew. That's a relief.
Yeah, a lot of work,
No
but
grinding.
finally.
Oh yes. The other good news is Anne should be here any moment with pizza. Yes.
The trouble starter.
Okay. Oh yes! Mate, sounds beautiful.
Yes.
Man, that sounds good. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Sounds really nice.
Yep.
God, that sounds good. Alright, so it's been a really big day. I haven't done too much filming, guys, so I apologise because it's been just all go. The motor, as you saw, absolutely purred to life once we got fuel through the fuel pump and in through the injector lines. Sounds amazing. I'm so happy with how that thing sounds. Looks the part too. Now, Jan has just chucked the gearbox on while I was dropping Oakley and Ange back and put the 24 volt starter on. So that's a starter that a G-Wagon has and the Unimog has as well. That's kind of cool. This is the smaller water pump pulley from Diesel Pump UK. This is that really nice bracket that Jan made for the alternator here. So that works really well. It's all looking good. New dipstick is in for the change in oil pan. I like the color coded too. That looks wicked. So now we are going to see how much she weighs. The B30 and 4-speed was 270 kilos.
It.
She is 255.
255.
255.
20 kilos.
Nice. 20 kilo weight reduction. And like 3-4 times the power. It's not staged at all.
I think it's enough.
Okay.
If we strap it up, it should be fine.
Oh, okay. So it's strapped up here with a piece of wood and another strap going to the two mounts back here so that we can scoot the he's riding it, so that we can scoot the crane underneath and then pick it up with the boom coming through the door, similar to what we did with the B30.
To get more forward.
Would have been a little bit easy without the body on, hey?
Yeah, it would be.
But still doable. I've never met someone like Jan who can make me feel so useless so quickly. Like, I'll be thinking of something to do and he's like 10 steps ahead of me and moves so much faster than I do. Like, I'm just a lot of the time just kind of standing there looking like a knob, and he like just does so much faster than I can like figure out what I should be doing. So yeah, that's pretty impressive. It's all happened very quickly, but we are halfway kind of in, so we've gotten up to the point where it's matching up with the stock transfer case mounts, and then Jan is going to have to fabricate mounts for in the front here, but this is sitting pretty much exactly where it's going to go, and it fits, absolutely fits like a glove. It's not touching anything. It's so close to the handbrake, but it's not quite touching it. Turbo's got room, alternator's just got room as well. What I was saying about the reason we didn't go with an OM606, that extra cylinder would have pushed everything back and it would have hit this cross member. This cross member would have to be cut out and moved back, re-welded in place, and these factory mounts on the chassis would have to be cut and moved back as well. So it was a lot more work. I'd just like to say a huge thank you to Ecoflow. They have very generously sponsored this week's build series, and they are hugely helping towards the swap into Skadi. So a big thank you to them. They have very generously sent over their new Delta 3 Plus, an Australian spec model, to show especially you guys in our Australian audience. There is of course a European spec version of the Delta 3 Plus, but I'll be showing you an Australian one today. So this is on shelves in store in your major Australian retailers, ones like Anaconda and Harvey Norman, so you can pick them up here. The Delta 3 Plus is a really great family camping power hub. It only weighs 12.5 kilos, so it is very, very light, making it easily portable. The unit has an 1800 watt AC output, and by utilizing their X-Boost technology via their app, you can also run appliances up to 2400 watts reliably with a peak surge of 3600 watts. So you can very much run 99% of your household appliances, things like your induction cooktops, your kettles, toaster, washing machine, fridges. So you are covered in the event of a power cut emergency at home, and even just taking it camping as well, you can easily run all of the appliances that are going to be in your caravan or your car. It has a 1 kilowatt hour of battery capacity, and you can expand that up to a total of 5 kilowatt hours utilizing the Delta series of expandable battery units. The unit has 4 AC outputs that you can see in the front here, as well as 2 USB-A and 2 USB-C outputs as well. The unit utilizes 4 fast charging methods. By plugging it into AC power, it'll charge the unit from 0% to 100% in only 56 minutes, so it is an unbelievably fast charge. You can also charge it via solar, via your car charger DC, and it will also utilize dual charge as well, so AC and DC at the same time. The Delta 3 Plus is a great solution for your camping needs in your four-wheel drive, in your caravan. You could have this in your drawer system, on a drop-down slider in your canopy. Really good for charging your cameras, your drones, your GoPros, anything USB. It'll keep your car fridge running. You can have that plugged into your car charger so it just keeps going. It's also a great unit for your DIY needs around the house, in the shed. That's what I've been using it for today. So I can have a coffee, I can boil some hot water, I can cook a feed on the induction cooktop, I can charge my batteries, and I can also plug in a reciprocating saw, any powered kind of appliance like that. This has got the power to be able to run it. It's also a really good at-home sort of power backup system. You can tuck this into a corner quite easily. It's not this massive loud unit. Check out Ecoflow's website for some more information about the Delta 3 Plus, and you can jump on there. They have a end of financial year sale going on where you can nab up to 45% off some of their units. Happy Sunday, guys. So last night, Jan and I worked on the brackets. I did some cutting and I did the caveman stuff on them, and Jan did the fabrication work, and now the engine is in beautifully. I don't know if you can see one bracket there, but look how well the engine fits. Now Jan's putting the intercooler on the back, which looks like it belongs there. That's from a BMW M3, and everything is just fitting wonderfully actually. One of the only things we have to move is the diff lock switch bracket, which is in here. It's too close to the turbo. Alternator clears nicely, and the handbrake clears just. Jan has shortened this and re-welded it, so we removed 7.5 centimeters off of this is what shifts the gearbox linkage, and he had to cut a little piece off the side of the engine, just one of the aluminium brackets there, just to make a bit of room for this. And other than that, it looks like it's fitting like a glove, which is fantastic. So you're pretty happy with how the fitment's going so far?
Yes,
yeah.
I am.
Awesome. It just looks so good. So I saw there was a little bit of a debate between air-to-water intercoolers and air-to-air. Air-to-water is definitely more efficient. They are just more expensive and more complicated, and that's why you don't see them as often. But they are a really fantastic solution for off-roading, where it's kind of stop-start stuff. Whereas like high-performance street applications, yes, air-to-air is probably better. But for our application in particular, air-to-water is phenomenal. Reason being, there is bugger all room here for a standard air-to-air intercooler. So I've got a frozen boost radiator coming. They specialize in air-to-water stuff over in the States. That will go in front of the radiator here. As you know, I've got a spout fan pulling air through. So that'll work really well for that application. And then I just had my hand at some fabrication finally and made these two brackets. So I've got an aluminium bracket here. Let me turn the light on, which connects to the engine block. That's holding that in place. And another one here which attaches it to the oil filter. So I'll take those off soon and paint them once Jan's done a little bit of measurements for piping and stuff like that. But that's a perfect spot for it. Looks like it's meant to be. Alright, it is about 10 or 10:30 p.m. Tuesday night. Another big long night in the workshop. Getting lots and lots and lots done on the beast here. It is now all squared away in its mounts. It is mostly all wired up apart from a few bits and pieces, and a lot of the plumbing has been done as well. There is still the intake to do, air to water intercooler, and a few other bits and bobs, but there's not actually that much. There's a bit more wiring to do. There's not too much to do, but this part of it's quite time consuming because you've got to be under the truck and measuring and getting all kinds of different orders of parts and stuff. So yeah, it's definitely taking quite a while, but I'm thinking the next time I'm in the workshop, which might be Thursday evening, It might be ready to go for its first very small spin, sans cooling, so not very far, but it might move under its own steam finally. So thank you so much for watching this episode. I'll wrap this up now. The next build will be Scotty driving for the first time, so that's going to be a really exciting one, so stay tuned for that. Again, thank you so much for the support, and we'll see you next week.